me great pleasure to now request our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India, to kindly articulate his thoughts. Please put your hands together and give a rousing welcome.
Thank you very much. First of all, my thanks to Raj Sharma ji for inviting me to this event. Uh, Even though as it's embarrassing to say that I'll be leaving soon, that's not my kind of thing. But it so happened that program was fixed much earlier, and when he invited me, I could not resist but to be here because this whole concept is very close to my heart and to my office, which is completely convinced that startup ecosystem is the right way to go for us. So, in spite of that very tight schedule, I thought I should be here to share few thoughts, but more so to learn about this organization. And I'm glad that I could come here. And the challenges you faced in the last 2 days, I appreciate that in spite of that, you could put it together. So all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, I will be very brief in my few remarks. So we all know, as has been mentioned before, that India is witnessing a remarkable journey of economic development over the last few years. So from the way we started in the post-independence and then even after independence from agrarian economy, we quickly moved to the third phase, which was the liberalization and the globalization era around 1990, which you are all familiar, but many people in the hall may not know what happened before 1990. I am from a generation which has seen both sides, pre 1990 and post 1990. So have some feel how it was before 1990 and now how we changed. So now actually we are in the fourth phase, if you can call it, which is witnessing the digital and startup era. Now, this is very fortunate because with the invent of internet and proliferation of digital technologies, India has witnessed a rapid transformation of the economy. So if you look at how we have moved the value chain in the startup system, right from to 452 we had startups in 2016, and now the numbers are hovering around 85,000 last year end, and the numbers are still growing. Now, what I'll focus in this era, in this arena, is the deep tech startups, because deep tech startups, which are unique in their approach and requirement, because they are different from the whole concept of startup, because they are based on some cutting edge technologies which you need to have. That number in India by NESCOM numbers is around 4,000 plus. So that number is a small fraction of the total startups. All startups are important, there is no question. It adds to economy. But when you want to build up the nation in technology arena, and we need to take the leadership role, deep tech startups definitely merit some consideration which cannot be ignored. Now, in this, so what we did recently in the Prime Minister's Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council, which I chair, we had a discussion on this. What is ailing or what could be done in the deep tech startup arena so that we increase this number from 4,000 plus to much higher and really add the value chain at various key points. So this is the report which we want to bring out with the policy interventions, and already 4 consultative conclaves have been held, and we hope in that process I'll also ask my team to get in touch with ECRA and get the critical inputs on this. So if you look at the differentiators for deep tech startups as compared to the other startups, we have to rely on the bleeding edge technologies, and they push the boundaries of innovation and to develop solutions that are at the forefront of technology advancement. Now, this will require access to infrastructure, research and development facilities, and not to mention collaborations with the academic institutes and research organizations. This we have to bring. How the startups can really integrate with our academic institutes and really make as one team to go forward. And the second one, which is again a big factor in the deep tech startup, is the availability of trained and skilled human resources. Now, needless to emphasize, this is a must in deep tech startup because we need highly skilled workforce, and we have to bridge the gap, the technology gap, and the talent gap in this arena. And the third one is the funding, which was mentioned by Raj Sharma ji, which is even more important for the requirements in deep tech. Because here, patient funding is required because you need patient funding, long term funding for the deep tech startups, which is something we have to see how to encourage it. And next one, of course, is the government policies, which need to look at in shaping the environment of deep tech startups and to the intellectual property rights, transfer of technologies, R&D incentives, and regulatory frameworks. So all this have to be also looked at in the encouraging deep tech startups. And additionally, which is very very important, deep tech startup is the appetite for risk taking. This is something we have to learn, that we need to take risks in this. In deep tech startups, the risks are higher as compared to other startups, but you cannot avoid it because the gain is also that much higher. So this is something again we have to see how we can have the government intervention in this appetite for risk. So as I mentioned, we have this framework which we are looking at. It got initiated only few months back, and we are in the consultative process. And I will definitely get the feedback from ECRA on this things, because in all the sectors we need to really see whether it is in the patients, whether it is in the targeting, supply chain technology, and the leverage on various existing policies and so on. So I think I will not take too much time, but to say that I'm absolutely delighted to see the progress this startup called ECRA has made in really coming at this stage, which is doing extremely well, and I am very sure it will go a long way in fueling the startup ecosystem in our country. So India wants to be a vibrant startup economy, more so in deep tech startup, and we will do whatever it takes in my office to encourage it, and we'll work together to see how we can really take it forward. So my all the very best wishes on this Mahakumbh, with a difference that Mahakumbh is not after 12 years, it is every year, and that's where the new India comes. New India comes that 12 years have been shrunk to 1 year, and every year we will see the progress. It's absolutely essential to have it every year, because this is an arena where things are moving fast, not only in India but around the world. You just cannot take it in the usual way that it will happen. Small countries, as was mentioned by Raji, are moving very very fast, and we really need to see we move fast, but we also take care of the sustainability aspect in technology. We cannot have technologies which are not sustainable over a period of time, because sustainability itself has become a big arena of startups. The startups which you mentioned in the agro sector, in every urban gardening you mentioned, all are for sustainability. So take this completely on board, that sustainability will be one of the biggest factor in startups in the next 5 years. All the countries are at it, and startups will really do very well in looking at the areas which are untapped. As you know that we have 17 goals, sustainable development goals. Pick up what really appeals to your expertise out of those 17, be it in education, be it in farming, be it in smart cities, in whatever area you think. And you will see that you will have less competition in those SDG related goals than the other goals which everyone is taking. So here is an opportunity all around the world on green technologies, green energy solutions, which have come up. As you know, green hydrogen mission was announced by Government of India few days back, maybe 2 months back, and this is something which you need to see how you can take it up for with your strengths, because there is no unique solution. So my urge is to go little offline and see in the sustainable development goal related startups what can be done, which will obviously also involve technology. So I wish all the very best to this Mahakumbh. My apologies once again for really not spending enough time here, though it's very close to my heart. But this other things were also fixed earlier, so I couldn't postpone that. I have to leave very shortly. But with all my good wishes to all of you for years to come, we are with you and we'll look forward to learn from each other. Thank you very much for having me.